Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about how to draw powerful poses for your characters. We're going to be using Goku as an example here. And what I like to do is, I like to start off with the head usually, because it's just very easy to understand where everything else goes once you got your head placement. And we'll just draw a center line here, that way we can see just which direction the head is actually facing. Now that we have the head, the main thing that you really want to map out is the head, the torso, and the pelvis. Once you understand where those are on your pose or on your figure, it's really easy to put everything together. So let's see here, just based off of the reference here, the head's way out to the side because he's leaning over. Very powerful fighting position that he's in. And let's see here, the torso. Torso, you want to think of it just kind of like a round shape. Typically is very egg-like in shape, but this is a bit of a different pose, so you won't see it like that. So we got the head, and we got the torso, and the pelvis is a little bit under the torso because he's kind of in a crouching position. So the pelvis would be like that. Alright, so we got our head, torso, pelvis. Now we can just start to add the appendages like the arms and legs. The arms, I like to draw circles, and I use those for the shoulders. The biceps will be cylinders. The elbows will just be mini circles there. And the hand and forearm actually start to raise up. So you want to get a different angle on that cylinder to where it's actually kind of lifted up and you can see more of it, right? So that's cylinder, and then we'll just kind of do a box for the hand here. Alright, and the other arm, it's a little bit farther away, so it will get smaller just because it's not as close. The closer things are, the more far away they appear, and the closer things are, the bigger they appear. So same method where we're using the circles and cylinders to map out our shapes of the muscles. Alright, like that. This is kind of an open hand that he has here in his pose. Right. Alright. And then with the knee here, since the knee is close to us, very close, you're not going to see too much of the actual quad because it's hidden behind the knee. So what we'll do is, if you look at the reference, the knee is like right beside the elbow there. So that's how we'll draw it up. The knee will be about right there. The quad fits right in there for the pelvis. The calf kind of going outward here, so he has some balance. And the foot there. Alright. And with the other side, you won't see too much of the quad here. Because it's hidden behind the arm. And same for the legs, we're going to use cylinders and circles. That's a really great way to map out your shapes. So that way you can just get a better idea of what you're doing before you go and, draw everything in. Alright, and his foot is kind of actually leaning more out that way. And what I will do is I'm going to bring that cap down just a little bit, so that way we can get a little bit more on reference and just make it a lot more accurate here. And that's one thing, especially if you're using reference, you want to make sure that things are looking, looking right. That knee takes up a lot more space actually. So this is a lot closer to the reference. I like to get it pretty spot on with the reference. That way, whenever I'm drawing from imagination, I have these notes in my head. So, you can just kind of work with it that way. So this is the pose here. Yeah. And we can actually bring that head out a little bit too. Just drawing the head here. And as you see, when I'm drawing in my head, I just do a quick circle for the cranium. And then just drawing in the jaw there. There we go. It's a lot more on par with the stance Goku's taking right now. And then of course we have hair and all that other stuff. All right. About like that, yep. So from here we have our pose, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my kneaded eraser. Okay. So see the head was right here. With Dragon Ball Z characters, I like to go in and just add the eyebrows first. That really kind of tells the story of where everything is. We'll add the eyebrows. Actual eyes. And like I said, I am using reference, but if your reference or if your drawing isn't coming out exactly like your reference, that's okay. Reference isn't always for drawing it spot on exactly, not unless you truly want to. That's something I kind of strive to do, but this is an example, so I'm not going to be too pressed about it not coming out precisely. Put my own kind of little flair on it. But as you can see, where the head was before we erased it, gave us a really good outline to go off of as we're creating this character. In Dragon Ball, they have really big ears. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but Dragon Ball characters, their ears are always huge. And I'm just gonna add the ear here. Goku's hair all over the place like a true Saiyan. Alright, we'll add that. There we go. As you can see, we already got a face going, and that's more than most can say, just because they don't have their posing down. They might be able to draw really good anatomy, but not understand where things go. And that leads to a lot of confusion because they're not able to map out their stuff. And that's why these poses are so important to understand. And give Goku his trademark Saiyan hair here. As you guys can see, I'm just kind of flowing here. Not too worried about it being just like the reference. I am a perfectionist, but to an extent, guys. You don't want to spend 4 hours on the same spot. Okay, I promise you don't. It's better to just go ahead and get your lines on the paper. That way, if you want to go back and change something, you can. There's a lot of people out there a lot of students that I've had that just are so caught up in just getting it perfect to where they don't put anything on the paper. They'll draw something, erase it. Draw something, erase it. And that's one way to go about it, but it's a really slow process, guys. And you're killing your momentum if you just draw something like, I don't like that, and you erase it. So how do you expect to get better? I'll sharpen this right here. But yeah, I wouldn't stress, especially if you're a beginner, I would not stress about getting things absolutely perfect. But you do want to make sure that you can get a pose down, so that way when you do get better, you can add muscles to that pose and body. Because that's where the real fun in all this is being able to draw up characters and figures. Whether it's characters you make up or characters that you like from your favorite shows or video games. It really just adds a whole new level of fun to it when you can, get these characters out of your head and onto a piece of paper. Because now they're actually something, they're not just in your imagination. And plus it's really cool to draw your favorite characters. Goku's always been a favorite of mine. The creator of Dragon Ball actually is the reason why I started drawing in the first place. We're just following these guidelines here. Dragon Ball doesn't focus too much on very detailed muscles. It's very much just capturing the shape of the muscle and going with that. You see right where that circle was for the elbow, we just added the elbow there. So we're flowing and going, guys. And let's add a forearm right here. Give him his wristband. Alright, add the fist. Here, and like I said, we're just following the shapes here that we laid earlier. Yeah, once you're able to map out these shapes for your poses, it just makes it so much easier on you, the artist, just to be able to get these poses and turn them into something real, Add some cloth to that here. Like I said, I'm not going exactly off of the reference. This is more of a demonstration of how to take poses and turn them into actual drawings, or how to take the basics of poses, like the shapes of poses, and turning them into something more. Just following the reference here. Alright, it's got the big symbol on his back here. Drew that in over there. Oh, Is that his hair? No. So many spikes around here. Trying to figure out if that's his hair or not. But yeah, guys, I hope you can see how just having that knowledge of shapes at your disposal will really help you in the long run. It's got his wristband right there. And I'm sure we'll add some muscles. How about that? Go. We're just following the shapes, guys. Just follow the shapes that you already laid down. You'll be in a really good spot to just follow those shapes, you know. So once you got those down, you can just create. All right. And we'll add his belt here. You won't be able to see too much of it because he's crouched down. And now we're at this knee. And this knee would probably hold a challenge to a lot of beginners just because it's such an awkward position that it's in. But you just want to understand that it's just going to be, it's going to look bigger just because it's closer to the screen. Alright, so just pay attention to your reference. Just try not to get too zoomed in, because I've seen a lot of people to where they get so locked in on trying to get one single line right to where they miss shaping the whole figure. Just because they're trying to get it right, like one singular spot. Now we're just gonna finish up the boot here for the foot closest to us. Now mind you, this foot is going to be somewhat smaller just because it's more in the background than this foot that's right in front of us. Just make sure you keep that in mind whenever you are drawing your figures. And we're just gonna add the boot in. But yeah, no, Akira Toriyama was such a big influence to me drawing. When I was younger, we had the VHS tapes. Yeah, that tells you just about how old I am. I guess VHS wasn't that long ago, but it was long enough. You kids wouldn't even know how to operate a VHS. I say you kids, I'm only 22. I'll be 23 this year. But that's besides the point. Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, I would watch Dragon Ball Z movies or episodes that were recorded, and I would pause them when I saw a cool scene or a cool pose that the character was doing, and I would draw it best I could, at least. Dragon Ball was one of those art styles that even if I was having trouble with them, I could somewhat draw them. Everything else was very difficult when I was first getting started. Comic book characters, I tried my best and I just couldn't hack it. But with Dragon Ball Z, it always seemed to work. So that's what I stuck with. So yeah, big thanks to Akira Toriyama. I'm sure there are a lot of other artists that can contribute a lot of their artwork to him. That's just an awesome person, and what an amazing thing to leave behind. You know, I feel like that's such a big thing of being here, is to make something worth leaving behind, you know. But coming up on the finish of this drawing now, and as you can see, just from those simple shapes that we put together, we were able to create an entire pose of a pretty cool character. If you don't think Goku's cool, then that's your opinion. I think Goku's pretty cool. And we'll finish up on this last boot in the back here. And like I said, it's just going to be just a tad bit smaller in proportion to this boot here because it is so in the back here. But I hope you guys got a good takeaway from this. And if there's anything else that you guys would like me to go over as far as poses or drawing anime characters, anatomy, let me know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe if you do like this content so I can make more of this and share it with you guys. But that's going to be it for Goku here. And I will catch you guys on the next lesson. Alright, take it easy.